All right, let's get back to hockey talk. You two are the big Gophers fans. I'm new to college hockey fandom, but we talked about how special high school hockey is. In Minnesota, college hockey, and in particular, the Golden freaking Gophers are something special as well. So, Hoppy, take it away. Let's get into some Gophers talk.
Well, Isha discounts himself too, because coming to Minnesota when he moved, he very much said, like, I'm from Canada. I'll cheer for the Beavers. I'll be a Bemidji fan. I'm like, yeah, that's so typical. But I took him to the game at Mariucci this year where North Dakota was in town. And it took all of like 15 minutes for him to look at me and be like, not only am I a Gopher fan, I'm even more convinced that I just hate North Dakota.
Oh, it's the worst. I used to not even bring my young kids there. My husband would be like, we're going to go again. I'm like, to North Dakota? I'm like, don't take the boys there. They're
It's crazy.
They're absolutely crazy. And yeah, like that's how you knew you were in the zone with us, because you could see the crazy in North Dakota.
Oh, they were right in front of us swearing at us. And we were just talking about the plays, and they're like, can you shut the fuck up? We're like, oh, damn.
They're nuts. They're fucking psycho. And yeah, I can't stand North Dakota.
You know what?
I love it.
I can't stand them at the same time as I so much appreciate that they exist, because that rivalry, like, I wouldn't want anything different. Like Gage Osmus, who does content for our friends at 10K Takes, former captain for North Dakota, he, like, the second that the Gophers posted that tweet saying, like, so great that Fargo could host this, North Dakota, so gracious as hosts. And we know they had a lot of time on their hands, whatever. And like, fans are like, oh, classless, typical Gophers, whatever. He retweeted. He's like, this is exactly what I want. Like, if it was tables turned, I would want us to do the exact same thing. That's what makes this rivalry great. Like, the hate runs so thick, and that's what makes it so fun.
Oh yeah, I retweeted that one too. That was a good one. I was like, damn, that was like actually tweeted. That was pretty sick. I loved it. Yeah, no, it's true. It's such a rivalry, and it's really like, it keeps, like you said, it just that whole, that I think what bothers me too is all like, there's a lot of Minnesotans up there. Like it's kind of like the Packer Viking thing, right? Like you have people who are Packer fans that are literally live in Minnesota. I'm like, why? Like, what are you doing? And you have the same thing up there, and it's super annoying.
Well, I mean, the answer is easy. North Dakota and Wisconsin are insufferable places to live.
Right.
They come from there. They've grown up in that culture, and they're like, well, no, we want to live somewhere that doesn't suck. And that's why we're invaded by our border enemies.
I know. It's such an issue up there. Like, I always wonder, I'm like, you don't really feel that with like Florida and like neighboring. You're like, it's so interesting that it's like a legit thing up there, like Wisconsin, Minnesota. And the Badgers too. That's another problem.
Well, it's going to become a bigger problem now that they got Mike Hastings. Yeah. That scares me.
Yeah, there's a lot.
But so yeah. To the Gopher fandom, I know like you regularly try and get out to some of the games each year. I know this year you went to Notre Dame, but like, is that something like, do you pick like 1 or 2 games every year, or how do you go about that?
Yeah, we do. We pick it usually 1 or 2 games. It's usually in the January. The year prior we went to Ohio. So we've gone, we try to see them on the road at least once, but if we can do more, even better. But we definitely want to always see them on the road, and we go. And now this was so cool that the Frozen Four just happens to be in Tampa, and we live here now. And I'm like, it's just meant to be. Like, I feel like, I'm like, there's no way this is not going to happen. So the minute they won and we knew they were advancing, we bought like 20 tickets on I was like, all I know is I want to be behind the bench. So we had to buy all of them, just to ensure that we could be behind the bench. So I don't know where I'm going to be seeing yet. I might hop from like BU's bench to Gophers. We'll see how it is. But yeah, we're super excited about that. I love it. I like to be here in Tampa is just like, if they actually win that shit here, I'm going to like blow up. It's going to be amazing.
So cool. And I mean, let's get into it though. Fargo Regional, how nervous were you both in the early parts of the Canisius game and throughout the St. Cloud game? Like, were you... When did you settle in and be like, okay, I think this is going to be okay?
Well, I feel like I never lose faith in the Gophers. It's like, okay, you know how like the Vikings always let us down? And I always feel like, you know how like the Yankees, they always pull something off or something. You're like, some crazy thing happens. I'm like, that happens for the Gophers all the time. And I'm like, it could be 1 minute left. I'm like, we still got it. We got it. We're good. We're good. Like, I never lose faith in them. And so sometimes, parts of me are like, well, I at least want to see like a Minnesota team there then if it wasn't going to be us, but then I'm like, no, fuck that. Like it's us. This is our year. And so I never lost faith. I actually felt really good this whole year. I mean, in that line, with Snuggerud, Cooley, Nyes, like it's just unreal. Like it's arguably the best line in college hockey if it is, and to me, I just feel like it's our year, and I'm so excited that, that would be really cool for Nyes, especially going out on this and then making his way up to my enemies, but I still will support him there. I still will be happy to see him do well there, but yeah, it's going to be hard being a Bruins fan. It's going to be hard to have him up there.
Yes,
I hate Toronto so much.
I know.
Isha agrees, but
Allie, I say this to everyone who is in our corner. Like, I hate Toronto more than I love my mother. Like, I cannot stand that team at all. And it's because I'm from Western Canada, and my whole life we just get Toronto sports shoved down our throats. It's just like we would like to know. I would like to know what like the random lacrosse team or curling team in northern Saskatchewan is doing over the fucking Blue Jays and the Argonauts and the Maple Leafs, please. So
right.
Yeah, my hate runs deep.
I know, and I'm going to see him a lot, and it is what it is. It's like, it's hard though, because I usually try to, like follow all the Gophers, where they go, and kind of want them to do genuinely well, and especially Nyes, he's doing great things for the Gophers, but yeah, I mean, good for him, but yeah, shitty team.
I love it.
Agreed.
You fit right in on this podcast. My goodness.
I will say though, you've clearly been away from Minnesota for too long, because you're right. Like you nailed it with the Vikings, with the Twins. I'm never comfortable. Like finally Gophers went up 3-1 against St. Cloud. And that's when I was like finally able to take a breath. But up until then, I'm just convinced, I'm conditioned to believe that what can go wrong will.
And he does in all of sports, except for the Gophers. The Gophers are our team. Like, I just feel like they have the magic. But yeah, it is hard to be a Minnesota fan. And I'm the only team I'm not I'm a Bruins fan, but I love the Vikings, love the Twins. I'm not a massive fan of baseball. It's not like my favorite sport. I think it just lacks that energy for me, but I still love, that's my team. But yeah, it's pretty easy to be a Gopher fan. I feel like everyone falls in love. We've even got like some friends here we met. They're huge Bruin fans, and they don't get involved in college hockey very much. And they're completely converted. They're completely Gopher fans. We bought them tickets. We're like, you're going. Like you love the Gophers now. And they're like, okay, yes.
That's awesome. And yeah, it says everything that like I posted after the Twins went 2-0. I'm like, the Twins are now on pace to go completely undefeated this season and then get swept by the Yankees in the first round. And everyone agreed. Like no one, like there was no contention. They're like, yes, this is our fate.
It's always a fun ride, and then it's like, okay, that was fun.
This is why we don't care. Got it. But so let's talk then about Tampa, right? Obviously backyard for you, but like you already mentioned it. You got like 20 tickets spanning the benches. You were pretty vocal as soon as the game was over. Hey, let me know if you're actually serious about coming. We got tickets. Like, who's in? Like, how did that develop? Like, is that something that you've been planning for a while, or did you just like decide on the spot, like, this would be fun?
Yeah, well, a couple of weeks ago, whenever I really started to like see that, like, okay, this is Tampa's coming up, whatever. I wanted to be packed with maroon and gold, and so I was like, I always knew that for my family, my father-in-law, my mother, my sons, their girlfriends, I always knew we were going to be getting at least 10 to 12 tickets for that. But then I was like, I really wanted to buy tickets for like my community because I have so many Gopher fans in my community, like a lot. And so I knew that, if they were able to actually get here. So we decided a while ago, and I had made a promise and said, if we make it to Tampa, I'm buying tickets. I didn't know how many I was going to get. I ended up buying 3 extra sets plus a single seat because it was an accident. Don't ask. I had a few beers. So I ended up having more sets, and I had people message me, and I just wanted to be like, I wanted to be Gopher fans to be able to go because it's really cool. And I think like we talked about in the beginning, like hockey is everything in Minnesota. This is a bigger deal than like probably, the Wild winning this. I mean, this is a big deal for Minnesotans. And so I wanted to help with that and be a part of that. And so, yeah, we got people scattered all over. We got tickets everywhere. It's really cool. It's going to be nice.
That is awesome. And I mean, let's tie it in with the, entrepreneurial OnlyFans angle. Like we see every like couple of weeks, there's some new video of someone that's sitting behind an NHL bench, like purely to distract people, right? Like, is there some kind of angle there? Like, what's the plan here for BU Gophers?
Oh, there's some strategy there. Yeah, I go to a lot of games a lot, and I usually am on the glass, not always behind the bench because it's hard to get with NHL because they're already taken or what have you, not necessarily available. But yeah, certainly there's strategy there. I know people in the industry with media and outlets, so I'm sure there'll be something. But yeah, I'm afraid to distract the Gophers. Like I don't want to be like I don't want to screw up their game. I'd almost rather sit on the BU side and just like be like, just like fuck you.